Hey everyone, so this is going to be my review of The Giver by Lois Lowry. Currently I am babysitting in another house, which would explain the background and door behind me, so sunlight. Anyway, I read this in 3 hours, all approximately. I kind of took some breaks here and there, but all together about 3 hours to read this. And I'm very proud because I'm not the very fastest reader, but round of applause, can we just? Anyway, this is the first book I've read that I enjoyed that had a Newbery medal. Me and my friend Amber, who filmed the last video, or my book talk tour, we joke about how they're Newberries and they're just terrible. I've never read a very good Newbery book, and I know that's very stereotypical, and so it's just because I don't really like classics and all that much. So it was so good to read this, and I know that Tahereh Mafi, who wrote Shatter Me, loved this, and I love Tahereh Mafi, and just so many people, and BookTube, and everything. And I'm also, in this review, going to be doing a little bit of the trailer reaction for the movie. So here's the book review. I loved it. 5,000 out of 5 stars. It was so good. The characters were so well-rounded and perfect and awesome. And, like, are we supposed to believe... Like, I feel like I saw the trailer before I read the book, and spoiler alert, but I was like, wait, what? I didn't get any of it. But whenever I first saw it, I was like, oh, okay, Jonas is attractive. And he also was like 18, 19. And in the book, during the not the choosing ceremony, wow, that's nice. Is that what it's called? I forgot. I can't remember the ceremony where they get their assignments. What is the choosing ceremony from? I don't remember. So whenever he got his assignment, and it said, oh, it's his 12th year, is that supposed to mean, like, he's turning 12? That's kind of what I felt. Like, it said he was turning 12, and then in the movie, he's, like, full-grown dude. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But also, I heard Taylor Swift is in this movie, playing Rosemary, which, I mean, sure, like, there can't really be a wrong casting for that, because we didn't really get much of her character or appearance wise, so that could have been anybody, really. So I thought this world was so crafted, just amazing. The way, everything was perfect. It's just one of those books, like, this is the original dystopian. It's the first book that started with a ruling, overbearing, controlling government. This society is perfect. Nothing is wrong. Everything goes exactly as to plan. But is the society as really perfect as we think it is? That's kind of the overall genre and theme that I felt, all those things. And, I just thought it was so interesting. I mean, the kids of the parents weren't even theirs. Like, Jonas and Lily are not the son and daughter of the mom, whatever her name is. I don't even know if we learn it. That's the birth mother's job, which is just... Like, you get that assignment, you have the baby, and then you sign up if you want a baby, and then you get one. I mean, and then there's, like, the stirrings, and then, like, you take the pill, which I, was able to deter, like, a desire or something. So, they never wanted to have kids. So it's like Jonas is someone else's kid, but was just claimed by these two people, just as everybody else was. Another thing I thought was so cool was the apple and how he saw it turn red. And whenever you first start reading this book, you don't really know that it's all in black and white. But then whenever he says something happened to it, but I don't know what, like a flash or whatever, he doesn't know what he saw because his world, he doesn't know it because he doesn't know what color it is. His world is in black and white. And when he saw that apple change for some reason, he couldn't pinpoint what it was. He couldn't say, that, oh, it got brighter is some way to say it, but he doesn't know what color is, so he can't say, hey, that just changed color, because he doesn't even know what it is. And then when he's talking to the giver, he's like, that's red, and he's like, what? Because, like, how do you explain a color? How do you explain an adjective? Like, well, what is red? Well, it's like orange. What's orange? It's like yellow. Like, there's no way to describe it because it's so basic. There's nowhere below color to describe. So it had all the, the giver explains that it had all the other qualities like feeling and stuff. And then there was also color. So I thought Jonas's reaction was awesome. And I thought that was so creative to have that in there. And also I love Asher. He was hilarious and he was so funny. And I thought he was a really good friend, and also Fiona, his stirrings first started with her, and so he took the pill, and I know that the ending was A, left open to interpretation, and B, just a very vague ending, thus being open to interpretation. But I feel like I want more. I want to see what happens to him and Fiona, if whenever he stops taking his pills and stuff. And I also, whenever, this is the thing that spoiled in the trailer, whenever it had the baby and then he like released him, and I was like, what? That's not. And then Jonas was like, oh my gosh. He's like, my dad would never do that. And then he sees it and he just, oh. But I thought that was a very appropriate reaction to something that was truly horrible, But like whenever he fled the community with the little baby Gabe, it was just like, oh my gosh. And it's hard to believe because, in this book he's about to turn 12, we're assuming, if this is his like 12th ceremony or whatever. I cannot remember. 12th ceremony or something. And so like I just thought it was really interesting because Jonas was still so young, whenever he was hanging out with the Giver, yeah, what a casual term. He it said like about a year later, so he was obviously with the Giver and training and learning for like a year or two. So by the time he decides to live with Gabe, he's about 14. And that's so young. That's like me fleeing with a baby to somewhere that we've never heard. And whenever, like, I thought Fiona was really sweet, loving to take care of elderly people. And just all the rules and little things that their community had were just so interesting and so strict, but still interesting. Overall, 5 out of 5 stars. Now onto the trailer. Doesn't look very accurate. The movie looks fantastic. Like if I haven't like read the book or whatever, it truly looks like a high quality, interesting plotted movie, well cast, just everything. It looks fantastic. Doesn't look very true to the book because, like I said, Jonas is like 19 and in the book he's like 12. This is a Percy Jackson situation. You remember when Logan Lerman was cast as Percy and we're all like, no. But I really, aside from the fact that they're too old, I really like the casting. I love Britton Thwaites as Jonas. I don't know how to pronounce her name, that girl who plays Fiona. Is it like Odeya? Is her last name Rush? I don't really know. I'm just trying to remember. I think it's like Odeya Rush or something. And then we have Taylor Swift, and then Meryl Streep as the chief elder. Sure. But I really, really like the casting. I think it was well done and true enough to appearances. Like, even though they're older, I mean, like, at least Fiona has red hair during the little glimpse, like, in the trailer when the bottom of her hair kind of turns red, and he's like, I know what that is. So, and just everything about it is just so unique. And, like, in the trailer when he's like, well, if I'm the receiver, is he British in that? That's gonna be bad. He's like, well, if I'm the receiver, then what are you? And he's like, call me the Giver. And I'm like, my heart. Oh my gosh, that's the child I'm babysitting, if you saw that. Anyway, so also gorgeous cover. I got like the collector's edition that had some Q&A and stuff, and I cannot wait to read Gathering Blue. I found out that it wasn't a continuation of Jonas and Gabe and all that, and I'm just like, what? How am I supposed to, what? I'm like, my imagination is not strong enough to continue their story. I need someone else to do it. Lois Lowry, can we get you over here to do that? But nonetheless, I'm very excited to start Gathering Blue. I hope I read it in a short time like I did this. And I am psyched for the movie. Be expecting some sort of movie review. Maybe not, but just be expecting that because I probably will end up. Because it doesn't look very accurate, but it just, because it's not in black and white. I thought in the trailer there was some parts that was black and white and then some in color, so I thought, it did in the book, and it gradually grew the same way Jonas did. Grew. And then my friend said that she read an article that said they decided not to do that, so maybe that trailer was shot before, or maybe that was just for the trailer. I don't know. The movie looks really good, and I'm so excited, and the book was fantastic. If you haven't read it, why? I mean, that's not okay. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!